What up, guys? What up, Frank? What up, Fish in the Southeast? Tim, John, Carol. I'm trying to get all the way down because they've actually been chatting for a little while. But yeah, how you guys doing today? I know I saw you guys on Debo's chat earlier.
Yeah. What's up, guys? Carol, congrats on didn't you just win a
Yeah,
giveaway?
that was a nice giveaway.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And who won the other one? I think it was someone else we know too. Someone won Debo's thing too.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Okay. Which one?
What color K9 is that?
I can't even see. How the hell can you see?
Yeah, I can't see anything. I mean, if I make it full screen, K9. In the bottom with the red tail.
That's not a K9. That's a riser jack. Yeah, that has a clash tail, but it's a riser jack.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing that I can see.
Yeah, that's
It
probably
looks K90.
Yeah, it pretty much is like a DRT collab.
Yeah.
So.
But when I do that, then I can't see the comments. So
yeah.
I'd rather be, on half screen and reading the comments too. What's up, Shannon?
Oh, what up, Shannon? Yeah, I'm trying to catch up on the comments. All right.
I mean, nobody needs more tackle, but
yeah,
I think this summer has put us to the test. Shown who is a true addict. I think I said back in April or something that I was stocked for the year. Didn't really need to make any more purchases. Meanwhile, I've probably spent more this summer than average.
And then not catching fish makes you just want to spend more money on more, bait.
It doesn't help. Doesn't help.
I'm trying to see if I can catch something with something new.
Yeah, I mean that.
Did you go fishing today?
Today? No.
Yeah.
No, I had my kids yesterday and today, and I do tomorrow. So, nope, unfortunately. Actually, I did drag my kids out to a pond today, and we made a couple casts, caught one bluegill. But
you or the kids?
What's that?
You or the kids?
I caught it. I mean, come on. Who do you think I am?
That's funny.
Yeah.
But does your girl like ever try to fish, or does she want to try and fish?
No, my wife?
No, your daughter.
My 4-year-old more than my 6-year-old. Yeah. But it's tough when they're together, because usually one of the two of them is fine to do it, and the other really doesn't feel it. And that influences the other person. So it's hard to get them in the mood at the same time, and that's going to be a challenge forever. So I'll probably just have to try to trap one of them and let the other one go, and then really focus on my son and making him want to go fishing.
Yeah. Hey, that'll be fun, man, when that happens.
We did go to Cabela's though and upgrade my daughter's tackle boxes. They've now got like fancy pink Bass Pro labeled like 3,600 size tackle boxes. We take the hooks off of all of these baits, but
Yeah.
now they've probably each got 15 or so hard baits. And for now, it's fun for them to actually be able to, show off and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and kind of identify, what's the difference between
And that's kind of a good way to practice too,
a
you know.
crankbait and a walking bait and a popper, lipless crankbait. So it's cool for them to like know the differences between different types of lures, as well as, different types of fish. When we're at Bass Pro or Cabela's and we're in front of the fish tank, it's cool for them to be able to know like what a crappie versus a bluegill is, and whether or not there's walleye in the tank. That's kind of cool. You're tripping me out, man. Zooming in, zooming out, zooming in.
Yeah. I think that looks a little better.
It's all good. So yeah, I mean that was the thing. Is like we loaded up today, and my 4-year-old was like, "Oh, there's a couple baits for my tackle box that I want to bring." And I'm like, "I appreciate that, but no, we're not putting split rings and hooks on those baits." And second of all, I mean, no, I'm not teaching you how to work a walking bait right now. I appreciate the ambition, but how about no?
Yeah, and they probably don't realize that it's not going to be like something that's just going to happen like in a matter of seconds, you know?
Yeah.
So, uh-oh. What up, TK?
Tacklecraft. Yo, yo.
What up, Daniel? But, yeah.
So, yeah, getting kids into fishing is not always easy. If it's one-on-one,
yeah.
I think it's a lot easier, especially if the kid like already kind of wants to do it. But if you're forcing it on the kids and you've got multiple kids to wrangle and they're young, that's a challenge. It's an uphill battle for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So
and it's really, I think, yeah, and I think it's more like pretty much trying to get them more being interested in it first than it is like, you know, just trying to like make them perfect like something sort of technique.
Oh yeah. No, for now it's just about getting them on fish. It's not about what baits we're using and why for each situation. It's just about getting a fish on the other end of the line and having them be excited about that moment and reel in a fish. It's not about detecting a bite or making an accurate cast or anything right now. It's just about, the tug is the drug. Just trying to get them excited about the idea of catching fish.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, just pretty much getting used to that, feeling, and then also going out there, the wild and stuff like that. I think that's sometimes they like that, just going on a trip or whatever.
Yeah. No, that's the thing is my 4-year-old is a lot cooler about that and wanting to explore and be in the outdoors and like doesn't mind getting dirty or falling down. My 6-year-old is not as into that. So, yeah. Everyone's personality comes through when it comes to fishing and what they appreciate about it, assuming they get into it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I'm pretty much just gonna be showing some baits that I got from last week and also this week as well. I'll pretty much just start off on pretty much just this one bait I actually showed already kind of on my Instagram. But
are they all from the hookup or what?
Yeah, this is not, but the rest is pretty much it's from the hookup.
Okay.
I got from the Respect series drop and that time pretty much that new Black Viper color.
Yeah, that black and red color.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to get some, but was like a day too late. I mean, I was surprised that it all sold out in like 24 hours.
Bro, I totally forgot to damn switch the light again. I knew something was off, man.
Bush League. Guys, don't mind Matt.
This is the
I didn't
only
even notice.
experience you get from a rookie
I
streamer.
mean, obviously, you noticed that my lighting was definitely better than yours, but come on.
That's a low blow.
I mean, look at your lighting now. Here you go.
Oh man. Oh shit. Where the hell? Here it is. I forgot to. I knew something was
Pretty
off.
wild shirt you're wearing.
Yes, Lanciati lures. That should help. All right.
Well, yeah, you're the one that's going to be showcasing lures most of the time. Surprise, I do have one tiny little package from the hookup. So at some point, I'll probably chime in with that.
About to get told a scary story.
Yeah, Matt just turns out the lights, just gets totally pitch black.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Very goth. So yeah, why did you make these purchases? And when?
But yeah, the ones that I got, I actually got lucky on one of them. The that I'm about to show, that it actually was like came back in stock, and the
From a specific website or
no, on the hookup, it was actually that it like literally came back in stock for somehow it was like out of stock, and I was like, what the hell? When I came back the next day, it was like literally I was like, you know what, let me just check and see what other colors they have, because I thought, you know, since that other color wasn't there, I was like, let me see if they have any other colors I would like, and ended up checking, and ended up being like 4 more in stock, and I was like, holy crap. And so I ended up like getting one and decided to get that one instead, because that was really the one I wanted. But this here is just one I ended up just getting, that was from the Gangcraft Swimbait Underground collab.
Yeah. Is that
And
the 178 or what size is that?
yeah, that's the 170. But it's a pretty nice color. I never actually got one of these in this color, so
yeah.
And then any other collabs actually, but it's pretty nice. It's a printed color, so
yeah,
it's nothing crazy. But yeah, it's pretty nice though. I was gonna try. I got the floating version though, which is a little bit different. I never got their floating version. I had the slow sink one, but since pretty much, you know, like I fish at 3 feet, 4 feet water, I think that'd be a little bit better option instead of risking it with the slow sink. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've always wondered about that, right? Because
which only
fish a
sucks
slow
about the
sink
next one. So
I fish a slow sink with most things, and that color pattern reminded me of this one. But you know, I find myself probably fishing faster than I should because I don't have enough confidence in the slow sink itself, and I'm worried about you know it getting deeper than 3 or 4 feet. So I would imagine that if it was more of a suspending or even a slow float, that I would work the bait more erratically and also with longer pauses.
yeah.
Like I could almost guarantee that. So it just makes me think that I probably do need to at least dip into that game, and whether it's tuning my baits with, you know, floating strips, you know, those I think you told me about those, right?
Yeah, the Zaku board strips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Either
have.
doing that to baits that I already have, or just starting and gradually getting a couple of floating baits and manipulating them to, you know, kind of how I want. But
Yeah, and also with the cool thing about the Gangcraft is that, you know, the way it swims is a little bit different than a couple others that, you know, I've had, where this one has like this downward sort of like swim to it. So you can honestly, with this floating bait, you can get down to about like 3 feet. And if you tug it pretty hard, like where you're just twitching it really, really hard down, it will actually go probably even a little deeper on a longer cast. But you can pretty much do that, and it actually wants to go pretty much downward. and then you can then end up letting it sit there, and it'll just, slowly float up. So that's a good thing about this bait, is that it has that ability to dive down pretty far, even though it's a floating bait. So that's the cool thing about that one.
Nice. So that ended up just being like a separate purchase because you had back ordered it, or what?
No, that was on the Swim Bait Underground website. They had like a drop.
Oh, okay.
So I just bought it from there. The rest is from the hookup tackle that I pretty much purchased. But this is another big bait pretty much that I had got. This is the eye slide.
Oh, nice.
But I got it in that Respect series color, the Black Viper. So I'll take it out in a second. Hold on.
Yeah, what went through your head when Ben asked Jeff, would you throw a black swim bait? Do you throw black swim baits?
And yeah, he pretty much, I know he's, I think I'm pretty sure he said, like, he wouldn't probably do it, but that it would work, pretty much. But I don't know. I have, other baits that are like that, all black. I have this little guy that's all black, the FOM slide. So,
nice.
I think they'll work, and it matters on where you're fishing at. And, I also have black crankbaits and things like that. And
we're still on the goth train. Makes sense.
But yeah, and like I said, it's, different type of color, and also has that, pinkish red color on the bottom. So
yeah,
it's not just all black, and it also has, that it's not completely solid black. It's like an opaque smoke color. So, it's not completely solid.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that, your light allows us to see that a little bit.
But
makes it look a lot more brown than black,
Yeah, if I pull it back a little bit, it'll become more darker. But it has like that. Yeah. It's a really nice color, man. It has like a pinkish hue to it. I wish it was freaking focused. I mean, hold on. Yeah, it's not focusing. It was for a second.
Come on,
Matt. It was focusing earlier, man.
It was the light change.
Yeah, probably.
I'm in your head. Just move it over to the middle of the screen instead. Scoot it over. Nope, that other way. Yeah, a little more. Get that head in the middle. Yeah, go closer. Head in the middle.
I don't think it's gonna work.
Head in the middle.
Ah, I see what you're saying.
Put the head, not over on the side. Put the head of the bait right in the middle of the screen. Because a lot of times it wants to, catch on that eye. That's crazy that it won't.
I don't know why it's not doing it. Son of a bitch.
Almost had it. Pull it out 2 inches.
Hold on, let me take away that damn light. Yeah, I don't know why it's not. It's like completely not doing it. Damn.
Gee, Fun says you gotta sell one of your glide baits and upgrade your camera.
Yeah. Even though this is like $150 freaking camera.
Webcam?
Yes. It's a 1080p camera. It's just that, StreamYard free.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even use 720.
Yeah, no, that is really annoying.
So, kind of sucks.
But any given night,
Yeah, whatever.
Whether the focus actually.
I just gave up on it.
Oh, look at that! That's a beauty. That's a beauty. Just the focus.
Ah, shit. Oh, it almost did right there. Wait.
Wait a second.
But yeah, like I said, it's a pretty sweet color. I wish it would focus, but it's not.
Not wanting to do it for you. Oh, it'll do it for me all day long. She's a beauty.
Are you using the phone camera, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
What?
No, I've got a Logitech.
That's what I have. What is it?
I don't know. It's the Brio. The
yeah, who knows? Might be also like the color too, because it was working with the other one. Let me see. It's the one that's just a little bit above mine. See, like, it works with this one. Like, for a second it did. Damn it.
yeah.
Let me see. I'm getting pissed off right now.
Uh-oh. You're gonna make Matt angry now. See, that's in focus. That's in focus.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's see if we
Now
can get
put it up there.
freaker.
Put that biatch up there.
No.
And negative, Ghost Rider.
Bro. That's bullshit.
That is bullshit.
Trash camera.
Man. What can you do? So you got an eye slide. What, that's the 185 size? What's that at?
Yeah, it's the 185.
Okay.
And this one's the slow sync, which that's what I was saying was kind of sucked about this one that I had. That was the only bad thing. But also on the top too, that's actually has that.
Ooh.
That on it too.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Please. It almost freaking.
Uh-oh. No. Don't get his hopes up.
Damn.
Oh, so close. I felt it flirting with the line there.
That's a disgrace.
No way.
Maybe if I go like this again and then do that. Nope.
It'll grab all the other baits, just not that one.
Yeah, it might be just the opaqueness of it is just not picking it up. But like I said, this color is sick. It has like a like a purplish blue on the top right here.
Yeah.
And then it goes to like a smoke, like almost grayish light spray on the top on the back, like an outline. And then it goes down to it has like a black in the middle right here. That's black, and then it has like gray up here, and then it goes to that purple, bluish, pretty much color, crackleback.
And it's called Black Viper, huh?
Yeah.
It's a cool color.
And then it has like that pinkish, reddish stomach. It's like I don't know what kind of color you would call that, but it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Sucks. Like maybe it'll pick it up on a different bait I have, which is a little bit smaller.
Well, I'm not really sure what just happened, but looks like it's just me in here, guys. What's up? Matt just dropped off for no reason.
Yeah, the glide bait did it, man. It hit my keyboard.
Your volume's down.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh no. Maybe, hold on. Audio.
Brennan, I kind of panicked. You know, Tyler, take over. I was like, oh, what? I think it's just me now. Hello?
Damn.
Yeah, on my end, you sound quiet, but I could be wrong. I mean,
You hear me? Is that
what?
put your volume up a little?
All right, talk normal.
Hello?
Yeah, I think you're fine.
But wait, let me see. I think. Oh no, you're not echoing anymore.
Sounds good, says JP and Daniel. All right, we're square.
All right, so I accidentally put the damn beta at the damn box that I was gonna show, but I got the this was the other one that I was saying that I went and was gonna get, but then all of a sudden I just when I woke up it wasn't in stock, and then I ended up going the next day and just checking on their website on the Hookup Tackle, and there was like a couple more left, and I was like, oh, I gotta grab a couple. I mean, grab one, and it's the Snakehead.
Oh, no way.
The Mega Dog X, the fine art one. And
Yeah,
this was the
that
one I was
snakehead
actually
color.
this is the one I was actually telling TK to check up on line to see, because I was saying I don't know how the hell this is done by hand, because it looks like it's a print, but supposedly I guess it's not, but
No way.
it really does look like freaking, but it looks so freaking nice, man. Yes, I wish it would freaking focus, man.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Pull it back to like 5 or 6 inches away from the camera.
Hold on. I'll get this. There we
All
go.
right. Pull.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say pull me off for a second so that you're
And
not getting cut off.
so yeah, that right there, like I said, is the Fine Art Series 1, and that supposedly is, painted by hand.
She's a beaut.
And it
Oh
has,
yeah, look at that crackle red, purple
yeah,
belly.
the crackle brown, purple. It has like a little bit of pearlescence in it, and then it
Yeah.
has this green hue on the top right here to like a brownish back.
That's nice.
But
Dude, how quickly did you get those? What time did you buy on Sunday?
well, this one like I said, it was out of stock when I got to it. The Respect series ones, I actually woke up early and just bought them, and then went like back to bed real quick, like just took a back nap, like a nap really. And then
Yeah.
I just woke back up and I was like, oh shit, I forgot these, because I didn't see them and I didn't know it was going to be a fine art color.
Right.
So I ended up just going and seeing that if it was in stock, and it was out of stock. So then the next day I literally woke up and I was like, you know what, let me just go back and see what other colors they had and
Yeah.
see if I just get one of those. And when I went to go and literally purchase it, it was completely it was like literally there. It was like 4 in stock, and I was like, holy shit. So I was like, let me get one. And I thought it was an error on the website. And I thought, because sometimes I've had that happen where it literally say like something in stock and then it ends up not being in stock,
Right.
and it was a mistake. And I ended up refreshing it, and it ended up saying 4 in stock, and I was like, oh. And then when I hit add buy and everything, it deducted mine, and someone else ended up buying one too, and then it went down like to like 2. And then I was like, oh shit, someone else is buying these too. So it was pretty cool. I was like, damn, so someone else
That's cool.
realized that too.
Yeah.
But
Interesting. Very
but it's
cool.
a pretty nice bait, and it has that double linear bearing systems where you can pretty much walk it without having to use the rod. You can just use your reel
Yeah.
and pretty much twitch it like a lunker punker in a way. So it's pretty much that same purpose, and it has the all the rotating hook hangers on them. So,
Oh yeah.
and it has the double split rings on them, which is pretty cool too. You really don't see that much.
Nice.
Oh,
There
now
you're
you want to focus.
there it's in focus. Let's go.
But yeah, you can see that nice like color. And like I said, man, it amazes me how that's like I said, painted by hand. Like it really
Yeah.
looks,
I mean, it looks like a legit snake.
it literally looks like a damn paint, like printed. Like I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, like if you compare something like this where it's printed, it almost looks like, you could, say like you could tell the difference. Like this is printed and then this is on my
Jeez, look
hand.
at. So how big is that
The Dog X.
yeah.
This one here, I'm pretty sure it's like 7 inches, 180 millimeters, and 2.5 ounces.
I was gonna say it looks exactly the same size as that Gancraft you just showed. Like
Yeah.
178, 180.
Yep. It's actually, I'm pretty sure, a little bit bigger.
That's crazy.
Yep. It's a good sized walking bait, but like I said, I have tons of snakeheads from that local area that I fish, that is like in the Delaware, and I was like, dude, I see a lot of snakeheads all the time coming up at the top of the water, like go up in air, and I was like, I definitely know that there's probably some big bass that prey on that, and wait for those little tiny snakeheads to do the same and just smack the hell out of them.
Right. No, that makes sense. I was wondering, like, have you ever seen that, or do you know if
What happened?
have you ever seen that, or do you know if bass feed on snakehead?
Yeah, I've actually seen them eat baby snakeheads. The little tiny fry,
Yeah.
the little tiny orange fry that comes up in the schools and stuff. You see them like literally just bass come up and just completely smash the hell out of them. But
So I got one too. Yeah, I have a small package that I just got the other day because they talked about the bait and I wanted to have one. My walking baits, like I carry maybe like 5 different larger walking baits. Like the shower blows 150. The 6 cents.
How big is that one?
Do they call this the Mega Dog or they call this the
Oh, that's pretty big. I didn't know it was that big.
Yeah, no, it's as big as the 150, and then there's the Strike King. They call it the Mega Dog.
And then yeah, that's the Strike King one.
And then yeah, I don't know, just a giant popper.
River to Sea.
Yeah, that bubble popper, 128. But so these are all right in that 150 or 160 size.
TK said you keep all your bait packages, man. Remember we were saying about that? You and I do that.
Yeah, no, we will sometimes, but no, I rarely do. That's why you see all these baits are in a box and not in,
Yeah, no, not like that. But I saved them.
Not pulling out this package and then opening the bait to show you and then putting it back in. Like, I buy stuff with the intent to fish it for sure. So, the Mega Dog is a large size topwater for sure. But this is the Mega Dog X, which is like half the size of the original, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the original Mega Dog is like 4.5, 5 ounces. It's a giant bait. And this Mega Dog X.
Yeah, that's why I pretty much wanted to get it.
It's like a very reasonable, large topwater walking bait. It's still a big bait, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get that wrong. This is a huge bait compared to like a normal super spook or something like that.
Yeah.
But compared to
like if you
absolutely giant baits and like the original Mega Dog, this guy is
like a lunker punker like style bait. pretty.
Hold that higher. Yeah, so it's about the same size as the Lunker Punker. A little longer, not quite as fat.
And this is like this is a JBC Lunker Punker. It's like that's what they call it. It's not the Black Dog one, but there's pretty much a 6-inch bait itself, but it pretty much is even, bigger than that. So, but the profile is definitely, a little taller.
And so that swiveling hook hanger was definitely a selling point for me.
Yeah.
And something that to me makes this bait worth $40, aside from the fact that it's Megabass and that it's a giant bait. So I assume that it's got a really refined action and it's all super detail oriented. But yeah, it's just it's a nice feature.
Yeah, and I like the double split ring thing too, because not many companies do that, really.
Yeah.
They'll just, put one split ring, but I think that also helps too.
That's very true. So yeah, $40, I think, right?
Yeah, it's $39.99.
So wild color here, frozen Hasu, which is
That's a nice color too.
another
The
color
jerk
that they
bait,
make in like the eye slide.
the jerk bait in that color gets smashed.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I got two of them.
Oh,
So,
the bass color. That's a good color, man.
yeah, so I got this bass pattern, and they call it GG Indicator Bass.
Yeah.
And
with that little chartreuse dot.
So this is definitely for more of sunny water or sunny weather where I really want a lot more flash.
Or
But
dirty water.
maybe it's dirtier water, whatever. I'll be able to see this bait from a long way, and the fish will be able to as well. So where this frozen Hasu is probably a little bit more subtle, this GG indicator bass probably a little bit less so. But pretty good looking bait. Almost kind of reminds me of the color patterns that I showed off 2 nights ago in that Savage Gear Magnum Shine Glide. Those color patterns that were like almost overwhelmingly flashy when you look at this,
Sometimes I think
oil wrap that they put on top of the paint is like can definitely look overwhelming. I don't know how it looks underwater, but to the naked eye, it's like, damn.
I think it matters on the color. Like it has to have, blend with that color. Like if it doesn't have the right, I don't know, hues to it, it's not gonna look right. Like if, like you said on that Shine Glide, where it has like that gold paint job, and then it ends up having that holographic film on it, or whatever spray paint, or the paint, whatever it is, that it makes it look like not really look right. It doesn't blend well. It just doesn't look right.
Yeah, and this does work a little bit better, but it can feel like too much sometimes depending on the angle you look at it. But I think in general, in most lighting situations, this is going to be a good bass pattern.
Yeah, that one is not too bad because it has the pearl belly and it kind of blends into that, and then that light green back. So it's not too bad, but if it was a little darker, I think it wouldn't look right.
Yeah. Anyway, so I Splitterson got 2 of these suckers, which excessive, but got to do what you got to do.
Hey, well, just in case if something happens where you sling one off or something.
Well, and it's a new bait on the market here in the U.S. that I think is really well made, and that, as Ben would put it, for me has a lot of game. Is something that I can see myself wanting to use
Yeah.
frequently enough to where I'm gonna
And the
pull this
fall
bait
time
back out.
coming.
Yeah.
With the fall time coming, that's why I really plan on, using something like that in the lunker punker type of baits, where you get that wide glide and you just pretty much pause it. That seems to get more bit for me in the fall time. And I think with this weather too that we're getting here, where it's gonna like cool down, that should end up, bringing the bass to come back probably where I've been fishing at, and probably start,
Yeah.
catching a little bit better. But
Well, to be honest,
the fish are.
I'm excited about throwing the Mega Dog X at $40, then I think I would be throwing the Vixen at $25. We were talking about that the other night, and that's crazy to think that that's actually the price that they're going for now.
That's how much they cost? I thought there was 20.
No, $24.99.
Ah,
Reaction Innovations Vixen, just
interesting.
straight out of the gate, brand new, back in stock, $24.99. Yeah, seemed like a lot to me.
Probably a lot, Daniel.
Probably a lot, maybe 50%, maybe more.
Some people, they really don't buy them sometimes to like fish them. They buy them as a, hobby and collect them and like to have the art.
Well, and I'm sure a lot of people, some of us included, and
I got that.
technically
I mean, Tim.
could happen to me now, but you start getting into it thinking that you're going to commit to it, and you start spending the money, you start stocking up, and then maybe you dabble or don't really commit, and
Yeah.
then eventually you give up and you change your mind on it. I bet a lot of swim baits actually go to like that.
Yeah, and that's why like I pretty much got to that phase where I realized that, when I was buying all the baits I was buying, that it was more or less like I said, like a sort of like this thing where you just get into like this mode of where you're like, oh, I want to buy this, I want to try that, I want to try this, and you get
Yeah.
more into like trying stuff, and instead of actually like looking for the baits that you want to know or you want to use and just try, and then if they work, they work. If they don't, just get rid of them, and then sort of do it like that. But I didn't do it like that, and I ended up having like so many baits to where it just was like very overwhelming on like what to use and what to actually throw, to where I just had to like actually reduce some of the baits I had and figure out which baits I really like the most and just keep those, and then the ones that I probably will never get to or never even fish because I have so many, I just end up selling, just to let somebody else get the chance to maybe use it or whatever. So, because most of a lot of the guys I see is they have like 60, 70 baits, and I know half of those guys are not fishing probably 20 or 30 of those, and the rest is just sitting
Oh
there,
yeah.
just to have. But I understand it's like a collection, really. But at the same time, I'm really buying them to like actually use them and not just also just collect them, even though I do have some that, I wouldn't get rid of, but I wouldn't, get I would not get rid of any of the ones that, I'm not using.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, if I'm not using it, I'll definitely get rid of it. So,
Yeah.
but there's another bait I got in that Black Viper called the Quiet Griffin.
Yeah.
And, this bait I never actually used. I have the other Griffin, and what I like about this one though is that it's a little bit smaller than the actual regular Griffin, and it has a different body shape to it, and it's a little bit more of like a teardrop shape. It's more complete. I'm trying to
Wow,
get,
that's a little guy.
yeah, it's pretty tiny. Let me see if I can do it better. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, and then this one has this special eye on it that the other ones don't have, which I noticed. And it has that, like I said, pinkish rose
Yeah.
belly. But yeah, and then like I said, this one has that more narrow back to it.
There's that crackle and a little bit more scaly
Yeah.
on the shoulders. That's nice.
Yep. And also the bill is a little bit smaller as well. Like I think I have the Griffin ring here, the other one. And this one here is a lot wider if you look at it. So
What's the other one?
this is the Griffin SRX, and this is the
The Quiet Griffin.
Quiet Griffin SRX.
So you think quiet because it's thinner, it just puts off less vibration, or
No, this one is actually supposed to have, the silent one is supposed to have like a tighter overall vibration. It's supposed to run a little bit different than the actual regular Griffin.
yeah,
And it's supposed to have a tighter vibration to it and be a little bit different. It actually has a little, actually some description inside the thing here. And it says the Griffin series has been giving anglers around the world constant results. The Quiet Griffin inherits the Griffin concept, compact and impact, and created as a silent crankbait to creep up on lunkers. Unlike dynamic wobbling action of the original Griffin, Quiet Griffin swims in a laser sharp high pitch action. The crankbait excels in tough conditions, which makes it for competition use. It swims even with very slow retrieve, while showing its ability to range and precisely gives the feeling similar to controlling soft bait under current change. Bringing accurate, slow contact, the ability to reality. So I guess they're saying like worming a crankbait. And
yeah,
during a fast retrieve, it will generate a vigorous vibration similar to that of the vibration plug. This so like a rattle trap, and a quiet agitation impact and sure to awake neutral fishes. So yeah, it's supposed to have more of, I guess, a similar vibration to the, a lipless at a fast retrieve, and then also be a worming sort of crankbait that has more of a tight action on a slower retrieve. So that's pretty cool. And it's a pretty small bait, which is what I like about it.
it's definitely small.
So I think
Do you
it's
know what the weight is on that thing?
yeah, it's a quarter ounce.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's not that bad.
a little better than I would have thought.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. The what's it called? Brendan had send me his glide bait that he was making. This right here.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty big bait. And but yeah, he pretty much says, "Have you found anything else I should fix in the glide?" I haven't actually went back to actually use it yet. I'll probably be going out tomorrow though. I didn't go out today, but I probably will go back and see if I could fix, see if anything else. But I did mess with the top joint a little bit, just tighten it up a little bit, one more turn, and just to get a little bit less slop on it. But overall, it's still pretty good. But it was pretty decent. Glad I had gave him some feedback on it, and it was pretty decent. It was actually pretty surprising when I actually took it out and first used it. It was pretty stable on a slow, like, regular glide on it. It didn't do that well on a straight retrieve, and I had told them that. Um, but on an actual like bump, like kind of retrieve where I'm like where you do long bumps or long rod twitches where you're just getting that long wide glide, it worked pretty good. And also if you kind of did a little quicker, it kind of just went like this, but it was pretty stable overall,
Hmm.
and seemed pretty decent. So I told him, just fix it a little bit more, and also upgrade a little bit on the hardware. Some of these here, I thought they were a little bit small for the size of the bait, just like a little bit bigger.
Sure.
So, because the split rings that you're going to be using for this type of bait, it's going to be a little bit larger. So you want, that space for the split ring to, rotate. And also, I was kind of also recommending maybe even try to do the same thing like the OSP does, where you put the eyelet sideways, where it's almost horizontal 180 degrees so that you get that same rotation like the OSP baits do, where it just rotates, a little bit better.
Yeah.
That rotated hanger, they pretty much say.
Yeah.
But and then he said the Griffin was Blockett's winning bait on the Mola Delta. Huh? I didn't even know that. It's a good little bait. The little one, the other one, the original like Griffin, man, it's extremely loud. It has tons of rattles in it. And the silent one, man, like I said, I think that's why this one is going to probably get bit pretty good where I'm at, because it's small and I really don't see probably guys throwing stuff like that. And
yeah,
and this actually is like silent, which is another benefit to it. And really, a lot of people mainly that are, casting or using baits around in my area, using like, regular crankbaits and stuff like that, which usually make noise. And so I think that's usually a benefit when I do use crankbaits, is that I'm using like silent cranks. So I think that's one benefit to that. And as a color, you really don't see much, and it's like a kind of like reaction strike color. So I think that's also a benefit of that.
Yeah. No, that looks very intriguing. So someone said maybe 10 minutes ago or something that I don't know if it was Tim or Brendan talking about the Mega Dog from Strike King. And I did mention that. I had it out already. It just for reference sake, the Mega Dog X from Mega Bass and the Mega Dog from Strike King are here side by side. So, I mean, it's bigger. It's not that much bigger, but it's definitely bigger.
Yeah.
But just to put it in perspective, the Mega Dog versus the Sexy Dog and the Sexy Dog Junior is like an absolutely giant bait. So, yeah, the Mega Dog X is like 25% bigger than the Mega Dog from Strike King. But kind of confusing that they all have Mega Dog in the name.
Yeah.
I don't love that.
Yeah, it's weird. I guess maybe that's a popular thing to, name a walking bait. Who knows?
Yeah, walk the dog. Small
Yeah,
dog,
Mega
medium dog, big dog.
But Tim
Mega
said,
dog, what's the deal?
Tim was asking, you tying a straight to the glide or using a clip? Nah, I was using a clip to this just to test it out. I didn't try it with straight, and I really don't do that with my glides really too much. Tie straight. I don't know why, but I just never tied. Never do that. So, but I know some guys that do that a lot, or just like religiously just tied to the bait.
Yeah.
But since I use leader, I really don't do that. But yeah, like I said, that his bait was pretty decent, and I think he could definitely. And I thought it was pretty good because the actual bait's like a bunker sort of look. So I thought this would probably be a pretty good like saltwater type of swim bait, and I thought that'd be pretty cool to like get in that market where there's saltwater swim baits where you really don't see that much. And there's a couple guys I know that probably would do that, like Fishing Grubs, Todd, well that's his real name, and from Fishing Grubs would probably use something like that for stripers. That's where actually I was gonna tell Brendan to actually send his bait to, or a bait to like that to him, and he'd probably definitely try and use it, and he definitely would use it pretty quick and probably put on a video too. So, but I actually I got just another one of the bantam I lost, the Macbeths. I lost my big one, the same color in this one, the last time I went out. But
I was gonna say, is it the
this is the
Macbeth or the
smaller.
Bantam or both or what?
Yeah, this is the Bantam. Yeah, I guess it's like no, it's not.
It's not the Macbeth. It's the Bantam.
No, this is the Macbeth.
Well, damn it. So is it also the
Oh,
Bantam?
wait. Now you got me confused, man, when you just said that. Uh,
I thought
no, it's the
Macbeth
Macbeth.
was like the whole line of these crankbaits that are mostly square bill, but also not. I thought it was the Macbeth series, but I thought the
Yeah,
Bantam were a different series of crank.
no, it's the Shimano Macbeth, the square bill, and then they had the Macbeth flat side.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how it is. But I think they also do have some Bantam baits or something.
Yeah, they
I'm not
do. Yeah.
so
No, and it gets that much more confusing when these rod and reel manufacturers are then naming their baits after their reels, you know?
yeah, like the Steez
Yeah,
shad and the
exactly.
Steez.
That's confusing as hell, you know? They're making as many baits named Steez as they do reels
Oh,
named Steez. The Tatula, like it gets out of control quickly.
yeah, it does. But this is the smaller size. This is not the big one.
Damn it. You're gonna have to
It's all good.
remove me for a minute. I'm gonna mute myself, but probably best if you just pull me off. But I gotta.
Let me see. And so, yeah, like I said, I got the little Macbeth. It's a little bit smaller than the original one I have, but it that had a very nice action to it. The big one, it was really thumping super hard, and it had a very aggressive wobble to it. But it really was pretty good on the rocks, but it got snagged up on the same area that I actually caught that big fish that I actually caught on the sweet killer, and I think it's because there's a tire reef there, like somebody threw the tires there, and that area always gets that. I swear, if you probably could get a boat in there and pull that tire up, you probably have hundreds of dollars of lures attached to it. But yeah, and I had got the bigger one snagged on it, and I was like, damn it. But it's definitely a nice little bait, and it thumps pretty good on it. It has a pretty aggressive wobble to it. But I think the smaller size might get bit a little bit better. I didn't get no bites on it, even though I haven't got any bites on cranks in a minute. Somehow, I have no clue how. All right, Frank. Sorry I didn't see your message there a little bit earlier. Take it easy. Yeah, they're pretty good. The bigger one, like I said, it was pretty thump. It thumped pretty hard. It was almost like the Evoke in a way, like the vibration it was creating, but it didn't have the same type of movement. It was definitely, like I said, it had a like real aggressive like roll and wobble to it. So, and then I guess we'll go into the last part of the baits that I had got, which was a vibration X Battalion in the Black Viper as well, Respect series. So let me get this out. I'm still here. I hit the damn enter button again. But this is the Vibration X Battalion. Come on. Focus. Come on.
Well, you're back to this again?
Yes. I gotta wait again. I just touch my damn.
It's this color pattern. Not going to do it for you.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell, man. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it is. Not happening tonight.
And especially when, you know, you want to show a good color. It worked for a second, but yeah. You got the time bomb going off in the background.
Yep. Something's about to explode in my basement. Click, click.
Stupid damn color. But yeah, it's the same pretty much color, but just in the Vibration X, it has that, you know, thinner crackle on the top of the head.
Yeah, that's that little guy, right?
Yeah, this is the Vibration X, the Battalion one. But this one is the floating model, not the slow sync, like the saltwater version.
Yeah, I think I almost bought that.
And I never actually used the slow floating one. I actually have the slow sinking ones, saltwater versions. But the this one is pretty good, so that's why you know, nice color. So I was like, you know, those three in the Black Viper I really like the most, and besides the Vision 110. But then I was like, you know, I snag Vision 110s, you know, a lot sometimes, and so I was like, you know, I'd rather not do that with like a respect color and do it with more baits that I know that, you know, I probably won't snag as much. So, you know, almost did it right there, but
Almost. That's not going to do it for you. Oh, come on, get it. Yeah.
oh, you.
So close. You know, you snuck up on it. You almost had it for a second there.
Hit him with a sucker punch.
Yeah. Brutal. Not going to happen.
Son of a bitch. but yeah, and that's pretty much the lures that I got. But I was gonna share some stuff that I had, like you know, saw on recently on, like, you know, JDM websites and stuff like that. And I was gonna share it, but I've been trying to figure out why this thing won't allow me to share it, you know, my my stuff. But let me see if maybe it'll allow me to do it again. Let me see.
Well, it zoomed out. That's a good sign.
Yeah, that is.
Let's
Do
see if
that
it does
before.
something for us now.
Nope.
Oh, that's brutal.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me try to open up another tab and then see if it, like, maybe that is the reason. But if not, then I'll just let you guys know, like, what baits I was talking about, and I already know what they are, and I can describe them, and you guys can look them up on a website that I am pretty much talking about.
And I've got 3 other things in this package from the hookup.
Oh, well, yeah, you can show them if you want.
Yeah. So 2 of them go together, and I showed one of them just the other day. You know, these were on sale, maybe still are on sale on the Hookups website, and it's the Missile Mini Swim Jig. So this is a rather small 3/16 ounce swim jig that comes with a 3/0 hook on it. So very reasonably sized. relatively small yet stout hook on it. And this is a bone color. And literally to match it, I picked up the mini D chunk in the bone color. So I'll just pull one of these out and rig it up right now, because that's why I bought it. I finally found my mini D chunk.
All right, Brendan, I'll see you.
See you later, Brendan. All right, so I guess these were made to be paired together, and for this chunk to be threaded on. So just give that a whirl. And if that's right, it looks like it was designed perfectly for this hook.
Oh yeah, like fits perfect.
Whoops. Yeah. So, I mean, you don't really need to trim much in the way of skirting material, but you certainly could if you wanted to. But I don't think it's really even all that necessary. It's super thin skirting material.
Yeah, it has like that sparse skirt.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I mean, for a $6 swim jig, I'm not sure about that, but these were on sale for like $3.50. So decided to give it a whirl. You know, you can see that the weed guard is like relatively stiff.
Yeah, it's not too.
So I like that. That head is relatively pointy, but it's not super thin. It looks like it'll fare pretty well. I don't know. I'll give it a shot. So yeah, bone is kind of a cool color. Also one that is underutilized and perhaps underrated when it comes to subsurface presentations. You know, most people use them for topwater walking baits and poppers and things like that. But otherwise, people just go to like a straight pearl white underwater and don't really know why people don't throw bone a little bit more frequently. So I always thought that was cool when I saw that Missile was doing that, but saw those on sale, decided to pick them up. You know, the combination of those was like $6, where ordinarily I think you'd spend that on the jig itself. So
yeah. Well, John right here says, do you know any good 1-foot diving crankbaits? But right, I was gonna tell him that I did mention in the comments that the Amakatsu, it's like guy Kaikisia. I don't even know how the hell you say the name, but shad. It's I have actually two of them, but I actually tried it and it's pretty good. And it runs at like a certain depth. It's like around like 1.5 feet. It's a very specific. It's actually like 20 inches, which is like 2 feet. But on a little bit heavier line, it really runs like around like 1.5 feet at most. And but like I said, that one, that other one that he was saying, the bottom up Reezy crank, that one runs about like 3 or 4 feet, so it's not really that shallow. But the Dono Minnow from Kasumi Design, that's like a, it's to consider, it looks like a jerk bait, and it kind of is. It's like a hybrid. That one runs around 1 foot, and it has a little blade underneath the chin, and it spins, but it's like a finesse sort of jerk bait. It's like really small. What else? The that I know that I've used. Oh, nah, that's not really that easy to get. Uh, I would say the Timber Tigers that, what's it called? Um, Epic Eric sells on his website, you can get. They're pretty good for shallow water, and they run about 1 foot to 2 feet at max. But what else? Trying to think of something that runs like under that 1
Yeah,
foot.
Rapala DT1 Fat, says Tim. They're a little bigger, but still available, and they get bit.
Yeah, I've never tried.
I want to know is the Reezy good in grass?
Yeah, it's all right. It's not the best. I would say in like greener grass, yeah, but not like anything that has slime or anything like that. It's all right. But I really used it more like near rocky areas, like rocky banks, um, in the middle of really like dead grass was the time I was using it. I really wasn't actually using it like in grass or anything like that specifically. So
Yeah, so last thing I got in the package is the new color kick knocker that the hookup just came out with, called Ghost Geisha. And this is the smallest, the kick knocker pup size. I've talked about how I like this pup size a lot in this bait, simply because it has 3 hooks on it for the size of the bait. So if you're looking to imitate a smaller bait fish, or you're targeting smaller fish in general, this can be a good option. But this is kind of a cool pattern because it's got that crackle back like you get out of the, what do they call it? The white python? No. What does the hookup call it? Their white color. I don't know, and I don't even have it on me right now. But Megabass has that same type of color with the crackle white back. But anyway, this is essentially what that looks like. And then you see it goes translucent on the side before then having like a truly pearlescent pearl belly. And pretty cool color here that is just a little bit different, where you get kind of a hybrid between a pearl body and a translucent flashy type of pattern. And so yeah, I just picked up one of these. $20 a pop is not cheap, especially if I might consider getting some Vixens. It's like all of a sudden between these and the Mega Dog X and then Vixens, all of a sudden I'm like, $300 deep in topwater walking baits in a short period of time. I don't really need that, but I've talked recently and somewhat frequently about how this kick knocker has really done it for me, and triggered my fish into biting. So I am a fan. And when I saw that new color pattern, I thought that's something that I could probably find a use for. So yeah, small little package, 2 of those Mega Dog X, 1 of the kick knocker pup, and then that little jig comp was all that I picked up. I'm actually kind of excited about this.
Nice little purchase. Nothing like crazy.
No, just a quick little $100, a few baits.
But But yeah, like I was gonna say with these JDM stuff that I was gonna actually show if I could share it, but there's like some new baits that you can actually find on like it's called KK Japan. It's a pretty nice website. They have some really nice JDM lures, and they always have like new stuff and new products. And there was actually this scent that they have there, and it's made by a company. It's called like Engine Japan, and it's called Magical Powder, and
Okay.
it's the scent that they designed to where it goes on the bait, but at the same time, what it does is it dolls up the whole like color of the bait, like almost like if you was to like rub the bait real hard and
Yeah,
make
yeah.
it dull. So it makes like the bait like a matte finish, but then at the same time, it has like this shiny look to it, like a metallic flake look to it.
Whoa.
And it almost looks like a fish scale in a way on the bait. And it's meant to like be designed for like highly pressured areas or really um, clear water to where it's saying that the colors or the way that the plastic looks is actually saying it's impeding on the action. I mean, not impeding on the action, impeding on your bites. And they're saying that the fish can identify whether the plastic, it looks like plasticky or very shiny. And I don't know, that's what it's saying, sort of like that's what it's supposed to be designed for, is to pretty much dull the plastic and make it look more realistic to like,
Yeah.
nature colors and or natural colors really. And so it's pretty interesting, but it looked pretty cool, and it was sold out, and it's like brand new. So I
Where
was
does
like,
it come from?
it's called Engine. That's the name of the brand.
And where do they make their stuff?
It's from Japan,
Yeah.
but it's a
Because I do wonder about that, like just that mindset definitely has to come from somewhere where everything is super highly pressured, right? Um, and I feel like at least here in the U.S. that's somewhat forward thinking, even though things are definitely more highly pressured than they used to be pre-COVID.
yeah.
We're not really at that point. I think everything Japanese is very focused on how to get a bite rather than, what do I want to pick between numbers and size, and what spot do I want to pick. Like I think a lot of people in Japan are just kind of stuck with what they get. So they're switching up presentation
Yeah.
in order to catch the
So
same fish again, or to catch a bigger fish in the same spot, or whatever it is. It's like it's a slightly different type of ball game that you're playing
yeah.
when you're just going after super pressured fish, right?
So right, what it's called Engine Magical Powder Bite Trigger. It's new for like I said 2022, and it says the Engine Magical Powder is a new formula that is the next step of feeding game. The magical powder is characterized by its surface slime and flake scales that it produces when its bait is weakened. The magical powder was developed as an appealing effect to prevent bass from recognizing the artificial soft bait. This is an effective in higher pressure fields of the recent years. It also contains the smell and taste of mix of fish shrimp, which appeals to bass even when the lure stop. Magical powder is not only compatible with worm material, but also elastomer material, which is it is even more useful with elastomer materials because it also prevents the lure from sticking. The magical powder can be powder is smart on bass that have learned lures.
Hmm.
So
Well, yeah. How long does it stay on the baits? And
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, all this stuff. It's hard to know whether to buy in. I feel like it's very hit or miss for the company whether they get in and time it right and say the right things and it all takes off quickly, or the opposite. And even still, for the ones that take off quickly, like Does it stand the test of time? Probably not. It's
Yeah.
exclusively like, bait fuel is a great example, right? Um, it's new to the market, and because enough people have said things about it, like it's selling right now. Um, is it taking the market by storm? Is everybody talking about it? Is everybody using it? No, I wouldn't say so, right?
Yeah.
So will it be a big topic of conversation next year and moving forward? I don't know that, right? Now, I am curious about the baits that NetBait and the other company through American Bait Works, the Set the Hook brand, STH. They're a Canadian-based company.
Yeah.
STH and NetBait are now releasing soft plastics that are infused with bait fuel, and that I'm actually a little bit curious about, because the average angler, right, like I just did, might pull something out of the package and rig it, and then all of a sudden, like I set this here in front of me to remind myself in the next couple of days to throw this bait, to not forget, right? So when I'm loading up for a fishing trip, I see it, I take it with me, I use it.
Yeah.
Uh, the odds that I pull out the bait fuel and apply it before using this is somewhat low. Now, the odds of me using bait fuel, if I'm definitely trying to catch a fish on this bait and I've been fishing for a while, and I just happen to wonder, would bait fuel make a difference in this situation? Then I apply it just to see. Like it's a kind of a personal scientific experiment, but it's not something that I'm like constantly bringing with me. But now, kind of like with power bait and other things, now there are baits that you can buy that just have it in them, where you don't need to recharge the baits, you don't need to apply. You just pull them out of the package and rig them up, and they have the bait fuel in them, and theoretically should last that much longer than if you just like slathered it on the outside, which in my
Mm.
experience lasts maybe like 10 minutes or so before it really like wears off and you can feel that it's not on there anymore. So I don't know. I'm not a big proponent of like adding scent and using scent all the time, but I like the idea of baits made with scent in them already. I mean, wouldn't it be cool if that magic powder was negotiated to a few different lure companies? And like
Yeah.
I've noticed that like
But you, the
Nico, what about Nico, right? Have you got
yeah.
anything from them?
Nah, I've never tried their stuff.
Their baits have this like baby powder on them because it's an elastomer style stretchy material,
Yeah.
but they put this like baby powder on the outside of the plastic, and I don't know, I wonder about that. Why wouldn't they use something like this magic powder that's also like a scent, uh, if they're already going to be using something to try and dry the plastics out and not have them be touching
Yeah.
each other and whatever. Uh, that's just one thing. Why wouldn't like other companies like Zoom or somebody who doesn't already have a scent want to do that, right? And I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe there's not enough room for margin for a lot of these companies to like, bring another company into the whole process, but I'm surprised that kind of thing doesn't exist. That there's not like a scent company that dominates so much that they can, procure. in Z-Man baits is probably the closest thing that I can think of. But there's not a lot of collaborations with like scent brands infused into regular brand name plastics,
Yeah,
right?
and also the thing is too is that that brand, the engine brand, they had for a little while they had something that's almost similar to like the uh what's it called, bait fuel stuff, but it's a little bit different. It does have like a smell to it, but it's called like engine GEAB formula, and it comes like in a little bottle, and it's also and it's like something similar like the way they pretty much say on their stuff, which is the bait fuel, but it says which is based on scientific research, formulated ingredients which are effective for bass fishing. Grab formula is also included in existing engine soft bait, which that means they have it on their soft baits, which they also have soft plastics, but which is already available all over in Japan. This new GEAB formula was developed and revised and more effective when dipped and soaked in soft plastics. The formula is characterized by the fact that even a small amount of the drip soaks into the plastic bait, making it more effective than a conventional product. Sustaining power can be expected. The basic method is simply to press the bottle against the plastic bait to apply on the body. If the plastic baits are soaked in liquid, they will soak it even more, and further effects can be expected as a secret bait fish, shrimp composition or inside. So,
Huh. Well, that makes me think of some of these comments I was just reading that like, bait fuel already has somewhat, I don't want to say a bad reputation, but I already had this criticism once, and I know that other people have been talking about it, is that if you just take bait fuel and you squirt it into a bag of soft plastics to marinate it, it will absorb and keep absorbing to the point where then the water-based gel congeals and gets all funky on you. So um, that's not necessarily what you want. Like it seems that applying bait fuel in the moment,
yeah,
maybe the night before, and assuming you're going to use all of the stuff in that bag and then trash it, is about the only way to use bait fuel so far. Other than maybe this like infusing the bait. I don't know how that's going to work over time if you buy these baits now and then maybe you open the bag and then don't use it for a year. Do they shrink? Do they uh, lose
yeah,
their effectiveness
that's
when it
true.
comes to bait fuel? Or does nothing happen? I don't know. Like
And that's
that.
why I think they kind of like messed up with Bayfield, where they didn't pretty much, say that on any of the stuff that they were selling, that it would affect the bait or mess with the bait if you left it for a certain period of time or any of that, or
Yeah.
any like description of how to use it. They just pretty much said, "Oh yeah, put it on any bait and soak it, and you're good to go."
Right. Yeah. No, that's not true. Right.
Yeah,
uh, the soaking is something that I don't necessarily recommend doing, but I think there are definitely applications that people probably aren't thinking about. And I don't know if I just thought about this somewhat recently or if it was newer technology in the industry and the fact that Berkeley has been scenting their jig skirts. Like why don't more people already do that? And why wouldn't you take something like bait fuel that already has a really wide nose bottle? Like this is the same as like a water bottle or almost a Coke. Like
yeah,
I could, if I took this chunk off of here, maybe not even, and maybe with the chunk on, I could probably dunk this whole thing in here. And so why not dunk a jig before you throw it, and just see if that makes a difference for you, especially if it's a slower moving jig. But I don't
Yeah,
know. I'm curious to know over time just how much of a difference something like bait fuel or other scents in general like really come to be a major player, because I feel like for a lot of us it's kind of whatever. We use it sometimes, we don't use it sometimes. When we do, we have maybe a couple preferred brands, but there's not really much of a rhyme or reason. It's not like everybody uses Berkeley Maxent at least all the time. And then they also like to play around with other stuff, but everyone has Maxent no matter what, because they at least are smart enough to know that like that'll catch fish. That doesn't really exist, even though like I have my fair share of Maxent
yeah,
and I am a believer in it. Uh, I wonder if that will ever happen with bait fuel or something else that's like, oh, okay, so as long as you've got that, um, you're fine. And everybody knows that this is how you're supposed to apply it or use it in the situations. These baits already made with it in it, or if you just do these couple of tricks to existing baits, like do you put it on hard baits? Do you put it on glide baits or jigs, or I don't know.
yeah, that's true. And then also, damn it, I just got rid of my comments. And that I was gonna say something about something. Damn it, completely
Sorry.
just got distracted. No, it wasn't you. It was actually I was gonna say something to you, what you were saying, but then completely forgot. Damn it. Oh well. But I was gonna also talk about the a bait, a couple other baits too that were like new. Um, there was the Daiwa. It's actually a crawler, but it's called the Daiwa Deca Poca Kuro crawler,
Mm.
and it's a soft-bodied crawler, and it's a pretty interesting bait. And it's made of, like I said, it's like a soft frog almost, and but it's made actually into like a crawler, and then it also has as like the rear tie, like the rear eyelet or the rear hook hanger is like actually like almost this elastic material. It's very weird, and it's made out of like it's like an elastic like wire or string, or I'm not sure, not string, but um like line, and it's very thick.
What's this
But
bait called?
it's called it's the Daiwa. It's new for 2022, but it's called the Daiwa Deca Poku. It's Pokokuro, and it's on kkjapanlures.com. But like I said, it's like I said, it says a soft body crawler bait that's increased appeal as a larger version of the famous Pokokuru, having a soft landing sound. It is used as Daiwa's Sasquatch process treble hook. Uh, that is equipped with a stainless steel girth to prevent the front hook from sticking to the body. Increased buoyancy due to the larger body and aluminum wings, provide good action response when landing on the water to attract fish with a firm crawling action and sweet water bite sound. The rear hook hanger is made out of a special elastic material that allows the hook to be more flexible and making for it easier to get the hook, make it easier to get the hook in the mouth when the fish bites. And it also allows the lure to be flexible and respond to the hook fish that are aggressive, reducing the risk of missing the fish.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
can you hear me?
I can. It sounds really rattly.
Oh shit.
Can you hear that?
When my shit, I accidentally muted my tab. What did you say?
Nothing. It sounds a little rattly on my end.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. But I thought it was very interesting, like how the hell it was like designed. Like I've never heard of something like that. And if you actually like look it up on like on the website, it's pretty. That's why I wish I could show you guys, but it's not allowing me to. But like I said, it's a little crawler saw frog, really, but it has treble hooks. So and then the other bait too was this new mega bass jerk bait type of bait, and it's called like the lattice or lattes, and it's a and they actually have a fine art color on there, but it's like a floating rolling jerk bait pretty much. It's a realistic stick roller bait. It rolls violently just below the water surface, creating a natural impact underneath the water target. The flicker produced by the violent rolling is like a school of migrating bait. When the surface of the water disturbed by the wind, the flickering impact is even greater and appealing to targets in lower levels. Is an extreme surface minnow that floats and catches monsters on the move. It is easy to use, simply retrieved at a slow medium to speed. The rise and roll method, in which retrieve occasionally slowed down to let the lure float on the surface, and the hovering method, in which the lure is kept constant surface range and rolled at a slow speed while just barely surfacing after the dive. It induces reaction bite, which is where they're jerking the bait and letting it go down and then floating it back up. The slow retrieve with a reel equipped with high gear makes the operation even easier. Slapping the lure with a twitch is effective in topwater fishing. Like I said, instantaneous flutter action creates a realistic panic bait. So it's like a hybrid topwater jerkbait, but it has a totally different like profile than Vision 110 or anything like that they made. It's a pretty interesting bait.
What's that one called?
It's called the Megabass Lattes, or well, yeah, I think it's the Lattes, Lates.
LAT what?
Lates. And then also there's a Daiwa lure that's called a Daiwa Steez Snappy Frog, which is a pretty cool looking bait. It looks almost like a what's it called? Snakehead frog, but it's a sinking frog that Daiwa made.
The Snappy?
And yeah, it's called the Daiwa Steez Snappy Frog. It's a junior, the sinking frog. The snapping frog was developed to make a frog dog walk underwater. In the past few years, many people in Japan have been fishing with big baits with lip by making the dog walk in the water. Divers seek the possibility to realize that this kind of fishing with a frog. With big baits, there's a risk of getting snagged, and there's difficult to attack cover tightly. On the other hand, fishing with a frog, you can approach this cover easily because it does not get snagged. Since the game is played underwater, it is wind resistant. It swims on subsurface about 5 centimeters in normal condition, but if you fill it with water by yourself, it sinks on the backsliding way, so you can approach a depth of 50 to 60 centimeters. The pointed lip allows the bait to slip through cover, and a single skirt provides quick movement, and the dog walk underwater is a new experience for bass and is sure to be effective in all kinds of fields.
50 to 60 centimeters, like 4 or 5 feet deep. Is that what they're saying?
That's about two. I think that's about 2 feet.
Oh, 2 feet, not
Yeah.
4 or 5. I was thinking inches. Um, Wow, that's interesting. It makes me wonder, are certain baits like the cover scat, uh, of course, when they're new to the market for us, we interpret them how,
And they have some good colors too.
like we hear by certain pros that you're supposed to work the cover scat slowly, right? On bottom. Little twitch, so it just kind of glides and then dances or jumps over to the side, and then you dead stick it. And eventually fish just come scoop it up. And it works, right? But that's a bait that you can literally walk underwater and
Yeah.
it will just go side to side to side.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know that that's appealing to fish, but are the Japanese like onto some sort of pattern in realizing that like walking baits underwater like triggers a fish in a different way? That walking a frog, walking a jerk bait, a top water, or whatever it is, subsurface. Um,
Well,
it
it's like dead sticking, the baits that I do. That's how I caught, that fish on the sweet killer is doing that, just pretty much twitching it, and it just walks pretty much in place side to side.
right.
So and then that's how the bug rock, the crank down, I do that with those. It works, and I don't know why, but it definitely is something that, like I said, like they were saying with the big bait, you do that walking sort of motion,
Yeah.
and that has pretty much, enticed fish to react. It's like a reaction bite, in my opinion. It's like a jerk bait, but
Yeah. Totally.
pretty much you're just getting that with a frog in underwater, and probably, and it's not really that Steve Snappy frog. It's the junior one. It's really actually a kind of like a finesse sort of frog. It's 1.6 inches and only 3
Wow.
sixteenths.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
a finesse sinking type of frog, but it has a very long skirt on the back, a single skirt. So it only has one leg, that comes out the back. But it's pretty interesting.
yeah. And I don't know if it's just me or if most people in here would agree, but it feels like when I'm using baits like that either get bit uh when they start doing something funny, or if I'm using something that does something funny altogether, that probably 80% or more of the bites that I get happen like within the first few seconds of me moving the bait. And it doesn't matter whether I'm waiting 3 seconds after the bait hits the water or waiting until the ripples dissipate and it's been 15 seconds, right?
Mm.
Uh, it's almost always that the bite comes after the bait starts moving, whether it's predictable movement or not. Um, but if I'm making a long cast, in my mind, the odds of me getting bit are way higher at the beginning of the cast than at the end.
Yeah.
As I'm bringing the thing back, to me, the higher percentage area is right where the bait landed for maybe the first quarter of the cast. And then
Yeah.
the next quarter of the cast, it's way down, but you never know.
Yeah. It's like
The
pretty much like,
second half of the
lost
cast,
on the beginning.
I'm bringing it in and I'm going again. It's it's wild how that tension is there and the expectation for a bite, but like the beginning of the cast when the fish knows something's there or did know something's there and forgot
Yeah.
already, and then they notice it and they have to make a decision, right? Like that's
Yeah.
where what you mentioned with it being a reaction bite is 1,000% spot on. Like you put the bait in a place where they have to decide.
Yeah. And then and then they pretty much, they either gotta eat it or they don't. But I've noticed that, when you're doing that type of stuff, like you said, either you get bit like closer to the end, or sometimes in the middle. But usually, like I said, I've gotten bit sometimes where it's in the middle, but sometimes it's usually because there was something there that I maybe didn't see, like brush that was hidden under the
Sure.
water, or like I said, that wheel that was there that somehow there was a bass maybe sitting there. But
Yeah.
and that is also a different type of bait. That's like a crank down or something like that, or glide bait, which is a little different where you're fishing a little bit open water sometimes.
Yeah.
But I try not to like fully just crank it all the time, all the way back to me. Sometimes if I know I'm not getting like any bites, I'm just gonna, reel it for a little bit, and then if I don't get bit, I'll just try to like reel it in quickly and get it back to me. So I kind of agree on that. But and then there's also this other bait too. Is just like two more, and that's pretty much it. But there's this. It's not really a new bait because they already had like a version of this bait around for a little bit. But it's the Daiwa peanut, the tiny peanut. It's the new model for 2020.
Like I've seen that.
But the older peanut, the deep diving one, is pretty much like a wiggle wart like imitator.
Yeah.
And but this one is a shallow sort of crank, which is a slow rising bait. But this one is meant to go in a shallow depth of 1.6 feet. So honestly, it's like what John was actually looking for. But it goes about 1.6 feet depth, and they're pretty nice little, like little cranks. They actually have like sort of like a storm, wiggle wart look to them with the
Yeah.
eye. But it's a compact, appealing high pitch action, attract reaction, but bites, high buoyancy, ability to avoid being snagged, allows it to be close in cover area. This compact crankbait is effective to catch many fish from big to small sizes. Super short runner. It is approached a shallow range and is used as a wake bait as well.
So how'd you hear about it? Why are you interested in that bait?
I'm just, like I said, I was looking on the KK Japan
Yeah.
website, and I just saw that on the new 2022 lures for over there in Japan. So I was like, what, let me let people know about that. Maybe if they're interested.
Yeah.
That's what caught my eye on their website,
For sure.
and I always saw the peanut bait, and I've heard it's a pretty good bait, and I know some guys that really use it, and Baitman also has tried it before as well, the peanut, the wild peanut.
Yeah.
Uh, so
No,
they're
I've definitely
definitely,
heard about that bait. But it almost rings like a really old bell for me. Like I'm
yeah.
not familiar enough with the bait, nor am I enough of a cranking nerd to really know like where that bait comes into play. But that's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's more of like a Ozark type of bait, rocks, rock beds, and stuff like that. You know, places like that. Also, like it says, near this specific one, near like wood or structure, or anything like that. But they also have this other one, which is a pretty weird bait. I've never even heard of it neither. But it's called the Daiwa Chibi Fuku. It's a weird ass name, but it has a very weird shape, a very unique shape, similar to like the bantam, but almost a little bit more like cartoonish and bubbly. It's like a mix between the Macbeth square bill and the flat side, like the rear part of this, like here, it's like the rear part of this flat side here with like the tip. Hold on. Uh, it's like this, like the this part
Hmm.
on this actual bait up here, like from here behind, it looks like this almost.
Oh,
So and then it curls down like in like almost like a hook. But it's pretty interesting. It's like chubby, very like bulbous type of bait. But it's like goes up to 1 meter, 3.3 feet. It's 1.6 inches, 6.5 grams. It's a easy use crankbait for shore anglers, designed to have a snag stability. Developed for cover cranking, the Big Lip is this small crankbait for avoiding obstacles. Then for diving, it is high buoyancy setting so that it can be easily avoid obstacles together with a special long lip. The position of the rear hook is also well calculated to avoid the snag right after running through the obstacle, and the rather big hooks in their distance are also well calculated to avoid from the tangled hooks on the bait to catch fish. Daiwa's Sasquatch technology makes the perfect hooking ability. Who knows what that means, but it looks like a pretty interesting bait.
Yeah, the chibi fuku. You know, it almost has a little bit of like a Macbeth type of, like, it has like this homemade,
Yeah.
carved vibe to it, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a plastic bait, but just the shape of it, um, feels a little more artsy.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it's
It looks like
different.
a handcrafted bait.
Yeah, it does. And I'm not mad about that. I think it's cool to have a little bit more character than something that's just generally round. Like it's got
Yeah.
a little bit more something to it. So yeah, it looks like an interesting bait.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if this is new or not, but have you ever heard of the Jackal Chubby? The
Chubble or chubby?
No, the Chubby Popper.
Mm, I don't think so.
Well, they're saying it's new, but it might be just colors, so I'm just not sure. But it looked like something new because I never actually heard of it myself. But it's a Jackal Chubby Popper, 42 compact popper, and like I said, there's new colors, but it says
It's
the 42.
42. I mean, would that be 42 millimeters? Like that's really small, dude.
Yeah, it's 1.7 inches. It's
What?
1.7 inches, 3.3 grams.
3.3 grams. That's an eighth of an ounce, doc.
Yeah, it's like a little
It's like
finesse.
that Lucky Craft bait that people were mentioning recently in my
Yeah,
the Piku whatever.
the Poku Poku.
Yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah,
It's like the same thing, right?
yeah, pretty much.
These these JDM high end, just like fancy poppers. Interesting.
Yep.
Little chubby popper, huh?
And then also there was this. This is the last one, which is the Jackal Long M 16-inch worm.
The what? Long what?
It's called the Jackal Long M. It's the 16-inch worm. But it's their new worm for that's literally 16 inches long. And I saw it and I was like, where the freak can I get that? And I was like, oh shit. And this website had it, and it's nuts. It looks like an eel, man.
Yeah, it does. The long M. Now, why are there not more companies making baits like this? Is it because the molder's so damn expensive to make, or
Probably.
is it just that it's so ridiculously unnecessary? Um, or both. I mean, I don't know. It feels like this is something that there's a small window of time where you could dupe a lot of people into buying something like this, you know?
And they look awesome. Like
And you
I
only
thought,
need to
like
sell three or four in a pack, and you're providing decent value, you know?
yeah, because like one bait is really like 5 worms.
Right, exactly. So you sell it for, $10 for a 3 pack. Um,
Yeah, it does, Johnny. Almost looks like
and,
a fat cat.
and people aren't mad about it, $15 for four. Um, and people will buy them up like hotcakes just because it's a long worm. Like it doesn't even need to have like all that much interesting going on all throughout this 16 inches of goodness, right? We don't care about the shape. Like, doesn't it just add a little extra character if it's like an OSP MMZ worm and it's got a little bend built into it?
Yeah.
Or what if it just had a little, character? It had like a bulbous shape, and then like the Dual Realis, they make some worms like the Wiggler or the Wriggler. I don't know what they're called, but that like have some shape to them where they're fatter, skinnier, fatter. They have like
I
an
know you're talking about like the ribbed one. I forget what the hell they're called.
I don't know, but it just it looks more natural, like a standard worm, where it's just got like a fat section in its
Yeah.
body. That makes sense to me. And like, why don't more worms have that? Just irregularities instead of just being a tube with a pointy end to it,
Yeah.
And so I don't get it. A 16-inch worm, we don't we don't think about the shape of it at all. We're just like, is it really 16 inches? That's amazing. How'd they do that?
Yeah.
That's all we care about. But the
I
more
want to see the packaging, man. That's what I want to see. Like, what the hell is that in?
cover up this
Yeah.
much area.
Like the depths package where it's like long, but imagine it's just like double that,
Right.
where it's like.
Yeah. No, what they need is clamshell packaging.
I think where it's folded, I think that's what they did.
Where it's 8 inches long and it's just essentially, instead of it being bent in half, it's just
It's like a
rounded.
U. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I
That's
think in
really
a
how they do it.
clamshell.
Yeah.
No,
Interesting.
it's funny though. But like, when I saw it, I was like, damn. I was like, they have that here. And this website, like I said, they're pretty good, and their shipping isn't too bad neither. So like their shipping is like $15. So
Okay.
it's pretty
Yeah,
reasonable.
no, I honestly haven't really shopped anywhere other than Ichiban, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta order something from here because they have a bunch of stuff. I had like a cart, man, that's like 100 and some bucks. But there's some stuff that you
At
can
where? KK or at Ichiban?
know on here. And on Ichiban, I really had something there too that I actually had showed Daniel about too. There was a bait that they had on there that I've been wanting for a long time, but I could never find over here. And they ended up, I was like, but then if I just get that one bait, the other baits were all right, but on this website, I found a lot more stuff that I've never found, and chatter baits that I never even heard of. So that's why I was like, that's why I really wanted to try out. They had like some Noris on there. They had the Daiwa chatterbait. They had the Kasumi one and some other one, or no, the Icy
Interesting.
chatterbait. So I was like, damn, all of those chatterbaits. And I was like, and then they also had this spinnerbait that I really wanted to try, which is from D Style. And it's a sick spinnerbait. I've really never seen one like that, but it's where the arm on the spinnerbait is actually like detached. So what happens is as you're retrieving, it pretty much behaves like a regular spinnerbait. But then what happens is when you stop retrieving, the spinnerbait will fall. The head will come, the head falls down straight, pretty much coming down like, well, let me just, so the spinnerbait's like pretty much falling down, the head will stay in place right here, it's not going to go anywhere. It'll stay right here, falling down. But then this spinnerbait part will pretty much like come detached in a way, and it ends up going up straight, and it'll fall like literally straight down. So it almost makes it look like the blade is just fluttering straight.
No way.
Yeah, so it's a pretty sick concept, and I've never seen that before. But Literally, it's like I said, this part of the blade will literally detach, and then it literally like goes straight up and then just fall down. So it's pretty sick. I wish I could show it, but
Who makes that?
D-Style.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's hold on, let me see the actual name.
Wow, I don't know if I knew about that.
Hold on. The damn computer's freezing up. D-Style. I'm trying to get the name. Yeah, it's called the D-Spiker. The D-Style.
D-Style D-Spiker?
Yeah. And if you look up a video on it, you'll probably be like, holy shit, I need to get some of those. Carolina Fishing Tackle had some, but I think they sold out, or they might have a couple. No, they do have a couple. Probably shouldn't even have said that.
I won't go get them. How about that?
Nah, but you got to look up a video on there. They have a video of it, but if you want to take a look, but it's pretty interesting spinnerbait. But it's pretty cool. And I've never seen that before. I think there was something like that back in the day, probably most likely, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that doesn't. Things like that aren't more regular, aren't more well known. That
Yeah.
something like that can just sneak onto the market and not. Like, does it have a patent? Does it?
Who knows? I would hope so with them, because that is pretty interesting. Like I said, I've never seen it myself.
Yeah, like a self-adjusting spinnerbait arm.
Yeah. And the head too is also a really nice shape and design. The blades are really nice and thin. It says the head shape D-Style.
Well, I guess Matt just disappeared. If I had to guess. I'm just watching this D-Style video on Carolina Fishing Tackle's website. Looks interesting. I honestly don't know what to think other than the fact that it looks good, but I'm not a spinnerbait junkie. And so do I need an $18 spinnerbait from D-Style? Probably not. Uh, am I open to the idea of it? Sure. I mean, it looks great. The action looks awesome, but it's an $18 spinnerbait. I mean, we're not messing around there. So we've been on for 2 hours and 4 minutes. I'm going to give Matt like another minute to hop in here because this is his stream, but we have been on for 2 hours and 4 minutes, and it's 11:30 my time, 1:30 on the East Coast. It's relatively late, and I'm also I'm running Matt's show right now. So I don't really know how many people are watching. I don't have control over anything that's going on in the comments right now. I don't even know if I left the studio, if the stream would keep going, or if I have the power to stop it. I don't know that. Tim says, before you become a great spinnerbait fisherman, you have to understand everything there is to know about a spinnerbait. Now, there's a lot going on there. I absolutely hear you about that, Tim. And personally, I'm not there. I throw a spinnerbait sometimes. Um, so the way that some people are about particular baits, like some of you guys are about crankbaits, or like you mentioned that you need to be about with spinner baits. I am not that way with either of those styles of baits. So no, I haven't gotten to the point of mastering or recognizing like the fine details between certain types of spinner baits, between the blades and the wire types, and the features of where the weight is placed on the bait and what the bait is capable of doing. I don't know, dude. Adam says there's 9 people in here. Well, guys, that's pretty good for Matt's channel. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Do Matt a favor real quick. Hit the thumbs up on this video. Hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. But Adam, there's 9 people in here, and I'm running this for Matt. I don't really know what to do. You know, I'll probably dip out of here in a second because he still hasn't come back. Maybe his internet is all messed up. I don't know. And look at that. My snippy nose is back, dude. What the heck happened? Whew. Tim says, I hated a spinnerbait for the longest time. There's some great spinnerbait fishermen out there. That's a really cool bait to dive into. I geeked out on spinnerbaits a few years ago. Yeah, I could see myself geeking out some. If say where I fished, the fish just started murdering a spinnerbait, then absolutely. Why wouldn't I want to mix it up and understand where one color blade, one size blade, one shaped blade makes a difference. One, slight difference in the gauge of the wire or the way that the bait acts underwater. That all sounds awesome to me, but a spinnerbait is just not my deal. And Adam, you're right. Maybe Matt is busy right now just buying those spinner baits. Maybe he freaked out realizing that we just talked about them and he had to go buy them right now. I don't know, dude. Tim, yeah, dude, I'm flushing it down with this guy right here. Flushing it down. And Tim, you're right. Spinner baits are very versatile in general. Guys, I don't know where Matt is, but I'm gonna dip out of here. Uh, it's possible that this stream might keep going even after I leave the studio, but I'm leaving. So sorry that I'm the one to end this stream right now. If you want to stay on here and see if Matt shows back up, or if maybe somehow I show back up later, um, which I highly doubt will happen, I would have to be in some sort of weird state for that to happen. But I'm gonna leave the studio here, and yeah, this stream will end at some point. So thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight over on Matt's channel, South Jersey Fisherman 028. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys again in the next one. See you, Daniel. See you, Adam. See you, Tim. See you, everybody.
Yeah, I'm sorry guys about that. My damn computer lagged out. So literally was having a damn stroke. I don't know what the hell happened. I went to try and look at the spinnerbait on the Carolina tackle and literally completely destroyed my computer. But I guess since Tyler is not in here and pretty much he left, he probably's not gonna come back. But I guess we pretty much went through everything we went through tonight. But I'm glad you guys pretty much stayed around, even though I just literally vanished. So I appreciate that. But if you guys can leave a like and comment after the video if you can, let me know what I could do better. And Adam, I wasn't trying to ignore you. The comments were kind of coming in weird, and it was kind of hard to tell who was talking to who. So I really just didn't know who was talking to who. So I'll try and fix that next time and try to communicate a little bit better with the comments. So sorry about that, but glad you guys stopped by, and thank you for sticking around as long as you guys did, and enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next time. Nah, it wasn't that I was buying a spinner, babe. But I'm definitely might try to though, because I've been looking for those. But all right, guys, I'll see you next time. Take it easy.